What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Axe Creation. And in this week's lesson, we are going to break down the guitar solo to Sweet Child O' Mine. Probably one of the greatest hard rock guitar solos of all time. It's classic, it's timeless. This was actually a request through my Patreon. One of my supporters is a big fan, and he kind of wants to know how to play it, obviously, and then kind of like why it sounds good and why it's classic and why it is the way it is. All right, so let's check out the solo, and then we'll come back and we'll break it down. So as you can see, that solo's a lot of fun to play, all right? And it's actually cool because, when I was a little kid, I used to air guitar this song and this album for hours every day, warping the tape, that's right, cassette tape, and everything, right? But I've actually never learned it from, note for note, start to finish. I've always dabbled in it. So this was actually a lot of fun with me, so thanks a lot, buddy. You're awesome. Cool, so let's jump in. The tabs can be found in the description below, okay? Normally this song is in E-flat standard tuning. I am not, I am in standard tuning, as is the backing track that I made for this. So the harmony for this guitar solo is mostly E minor, a lot of pentatonic stuff, and occasionally Slash will throw in some harmonic minor. It's mainly just that raised seventh with the D sharp to give it some spice, some color, and some flavor, okay? So the solo starts out with a big bend on 17 of the high string. And then you kind of come right down the scale, all right? So when you bend up that 17, you're actually bending up to the fifth or the power chord note. And if you play those notes going down to E, those are the first 5 notes of an E minor scale. So he's literally just a big impactful bend and then walking down the E minor scale. Okay, puts a little trill on 14 and 15, and then grabs the root note on 17. And then as you can hear, he grabs that 16 on the B. That's the D sharp, that's the note from E harmonic minor, okay? And he grabs that note because in the backing track, he's actually playing B as one of the chords, and when you add the D sharp to the B chord, you get a really nice B7 chord, right? Classic tension and release. Moving on from there, you get some really nice pre-bends. And again, moving right down the E minor scale, right? Pre-bend on 15, grab 12, move to the G string, pre-bend 14. Okay? And then you're gonna grab 11 and 12, or the F sharp and the G, and grab the root note E, D string, 14th fret. Right there, you're gonna walk up the E minor scale, F sharp, G, A, and grab C on the 13th fret of the B string. 11, 12, 14, 13. Trill on 12. Move down the 10. Bend C up to D. Release. Play B, 12th fret. And then you have this. That little phrase. Little half step inflection bend on 12, grab 14 of the G, bend 15 on the high string. Okay? So after that, you're going to move down right in the 7th position here. I'm mainly focusing on the E, F sharp, and G. And you're going to grab that D sharp again from the harmonic minor. Okay? So E, F sharp, and G, first 3 notes of the E minor scale, right? Your third is always a great melody note to kind of focus around. So focusing on that little scale fragment of the 1, 2, flat 3 is going to work really well when you're kind of crafting melodies. And he's just stepping back up there. So you're bending 14, F sharp up to G, grabbing the E, doing it again. And bending the D sharp, 8 up to 9, E. And then grabbing the F sharp again. You can grab it on the B string. I like to grab it here because then I can do a little tiny inflection up to the G, a little half step thing. I like keeping that all on the G string. So you do that little inflection, 9, E. Come down and get the C and the B, right? Really accenting or emphasizing the half steps in the E minor scale. That's kind of where that tension is, right? You take those half steps out, and you get pentatonic minor. So you got this C and B. Back up to E, repeat. Only hit it once there. All the same idea going on there, okay? Just make sure when you come back up, give it a nice vibrato. Don't double pick it like you did earlier. And then you have the little flashy run here. And again, it's mostly E minor, pentatonic mixed in with some harmonic minor. So I like to do it 8, 9, trill, back to 9, 7, 10, 12, cross string, 8, 12, 11, 12. And then you're going to start walking up horizontally on the E string. 8, 11, 12. And again, that 11th fret, that's D sharp. That's your harmonic minor note. Slide up to 12. Slide up to 15. Right, nice little E minor fragment there. 12, 14, 15. Back down. 15. 15, 14, cross string. 15 on the B string, 14 on the high string. Trill, 14 and 12 and 14. Leading right up to that big bend. 15, 12 again. Okay, so that run. To a big bend, whole step bend, 15 to 17, right? Or D to E. Again, really just emphasizing the root note. And then you do that twice. I like to do that. 15 to 12, again. And then we're going to move up to 17. Big whole step bend again. And he does it twice. Then you get a little 1, 2, 3 kind of action there. And when you're bending up, you're kind of hitting that G string as well. Kind of mixing that in there. And then bend and pull off the 15. And then a nice big vibrato on the 17th fret. right? And then we're gonna shift down to 15. Little slow, gradual bend. Up to the E, like 15 to 17. But instead of completing the bend, you're gonna jump up and grab E, 12 on the high string. And then walk right down pentatonic. 12, 15, 12. Then another pre-bend on 14. And then 12, 14, 12, 14. And that's the next one. 12, bend, 14, back to 12. All right, so that whole little section. And then end it with that 12, 14, 12. And then here you're gonna do a nice cliche blues rock kind of idea where you bend 14 of the G, when your pinky grab the D or the 15 on the B string. Okay? Now as he goes through it, he's not just playing the 15, that pinky can kind of lean up and you get right there on both strings on the high strings, 15 and 15. Then you have that, kind of moving our way into the next phrase. Bend 14, pull off the 12, grab 14 of the D string, pull off 14, 12. Like that. And then 2 dead notes. 12 on the G string. 14, 12, 14 on your D string. And again, there's going to be that slight pull, slight bend, slight pitch change on that note is G, right, 12th fret there. And again, a cliche thing to do, not cliche, that's probably the wrong thing. A stylistic thing to do in the blues is bend the minor third, in this case, G, up to the major third, G sharp. Those kind of ideas? Right? But that's why he's doing that. And then 2 dead notes, and then 12, 14, 12, drop down to the D string, 14. Repeat. Right? Then you have this really fun ascending pentatonic run. Right? And it sounds a little more complicated than it is once you realize that it is just a pattern. Okay? So it's 12, 12 on the G, 14, 12 on the D. And then 14, hammer on 12, 14. 12, 12, 12, 14, 12. And then 15. And then 12, 12. And then 15. And then when you get to that 15, staccato 12, 15, 14. One of those again. So yeah. Same thing we did earlier, very bluesy. And then you come, well, before I actually say that, I just want you to see that you're actually just going up the pentatonic scale. Like that, with the pattern. Right? And then you get this, flurry of, great blues lick. Right? Where you're bending 15, and then you play 12, 15, 12. And then you're bending 14 of the G string, and then going back down. Right? that make sense? And it's just, he doesn't slash it. It's super quick. Right? Kurt Hammett does things like that. Dimebag does things like that. Slash does things like that. It's just a very nice flurry pentatonic blues shred. Really nice. Then you get this massive bend on 15. And then release it. So I like to do a big bend, like two whole steps. Not like 2 whole steps, it is 2 whole steps. What's like 2 whole steps? Oh, I hate that word. Trill, bend, walk down. Bend 14 of the G, kind of coming right to the end here. Twice, pull off the 14, bend it back up. So you have that. And then when you do that, same thing we did before with your pinky. Grab the 15, release, pull off, 14 of the D, 12, and you're out of the solo. And there you go, my friend. Sweet Child of Mine. Like I mentioned, it's classic solo. It's super fun to play. Good luck with it. Down in the description below, you can find the links for the tabs. And as always, let me know what you come up with. Until then, I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.